What's up, guys? What's up, guys? It's your boy, the Dark Kage here, and today we're gonna be doing a new What If with an old friend of mine. Y'all may know him as Crimson, the Fiery Lion. Say hello,
Hey
Crimson.
guys, hey guys, Crimson the Fiery Line here.
And today we're gonna be doing What If Deku had a Fire and Lightning quirk, or basically a half and half quirk. Now, what we're gonna start is I'm gonna start off. All right. So basically, when Deku was 4 years old and he went to the quirk doctor, he basically thought he wasn't gonna have a. They said he wasn't gonna have a quirk until one day when Bakugo was bullying a kid when he was about to explode both Deku and him. Izuku would then awaken his quirk, dodging it using some of his lightning ability, which he would then blitz basically Bakugo. Go ahead, Crimson. It's your turn. You continue.
And when, and when his other, like he's trying to him from behind, my character, all of a sudden there a hit with a wave of heat from behind. Like with him basically awakening another quirk, which is more fiery than and that first bit as a heat air flame.
Yeah, and basically, this is when they would then Bakugo would say, "What? He has two quirks? Impossible." Which after this whole incident, this is when Deku then run home telling Nico that he has two quirks. She says, "What do you mean by that?" This is when he then shows fire in one hand and lightning and a lightning blast in the other hand. You actually do, she says. Wait, let's go see what the quirk doctor thinks about this. Which the quirk doctor would then explain that maybe he was just a late bloomer. He was just a late bloomer. So eventually, Deku, now knowing he has a quirk, Bakugo overall has way more respect for him. And when he goes to school the next day, he even shows them that he has a half and half quirk called, which is just fire and lightning. Here you go ahead, Crimson.
And even though he knows he have both extremely powerful quirks, he does know he cannot always rely on them. So he took up a couple of martial art classes, so he knows how to at least defend himself where he's in a situation where he can't use either fire or lightning, or go up in a corner where both his quirks are basically.
So yeah, so he took on a taekwondo class, which is basically like a lot of kicking. You can say basically he kicks a lot. There's a lot of kicking basically. Like there's a lot of kicking when it comes to taekwondo. He would decide to take on that class, which eventually, by the time he was 13, when he was in seventh grade, he became a black belt in taekwondo. Go ahead, Crimson.
He does this for. He's been doing this for years. We're also stepping out with his mind, so he can also come up with perfect tactics and how to combine both his fighting styles and his well, basically two quirks, even developing a special move early on.
Yeah, and basically, he calls this combo dual style fire and lightning destruction, where he sends down a bolt of electricity out of his fingertips, and then he finished it off with a strong fire blast. But yeah, so eventually, as Deku Ghost of growing up, he saw this show. It was called Avatar: The Last Airbender, which they used this style called the Fire Dragon, the Fire Dragon Dance, which he saw that he could actually use with his quirk.
What my associate meant to say was the dancing dragon.
Yeah, the dancing dragon technique. And he would also decide. He also saw that the character Uncle Iroh was using a technique called lightning redirection, which he would eventually, one day when he was outside when it was raining, he would decide to try this out, even though his mom told him that this could be pretty dangerous to try something that's make believe. But surprisingly, he actually was able to redirect the lightning into not to where it was struck like a house or something, but back into the air. Go ahead, Crimson.
And he also saw Arrow basically doing what his father can do, basically breathe fire out of his mouth. So he also trained himself to basically do something similar, being
Yeah,
able to breathe both fire and lightning out of his mouth when he wants to do a long range attack.
yeah, but she also learns from Iroh while he was watching the shows that it is kind of true. Fire comes from the breath, not the muscle. Fire is life itself.
Kind of like a breathing technique when doing yoga.
Yeah, which eventually Deku would become a pretty wise person overall, and like he was pretty knowledgeable to be only a teenager.
And quite scared too, even with or without his quirk. He's and he's nowhere a pushover as well. He will be blunt and go down on someone if they know what they're doing is wrong, while also having a calm demeanor to his voice and mannerisms.
Yeah, so eventually it's now the last day of middle school, and the teacher's asking them what they're going to do with their lives, bringing in a bunch of papers. But he then throws them into the air, saying, "I know you all want to be heroes and everything," which he then sees that Bakugo and Midoriya both wants to go to UA, which Bakugo would then say that, "Hmm, you really want to go to UA, Midoriya?" He says. Izuku says, "Yes, I want to become the number one hero and be just like All Might." Since he still does look up to All Might, but just not as much as he did in canon, since he actually has his own quirk in this story.
Eh, yeah, at this point he does look up to All Might, but he does have respect for another hero, which
Endeavor,
we're gonna say Aizawa, since Aizawa is another person that has a quirk but prefers to use martial arts and gymnastics, since his quirk is not really long range or short range either. It's more like a sight thing.
like a psychic type quirk.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So as one looking at eye and your quirk will be temporarily useless.
yeah, and he also
Like
does. He doesn't admire Endeavor, but he admire Endeavor about he admire Endeavor about how strong he is, but not as a person though. He admire
as
about his strength.
instinct wise, and therefore do earn his instinct wise. They could do respect that, but as a person and personality, he sees and therefore lower than shit.
Yeah. See, so anyway, so this is when as Deku was walking home, the sludge villain would then come out the sewer and try to attack him. But when he would latch on to Izuku would just use the breath of the dragon and stop him from
Talk to your buddy.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, that was my mom had walked in. I was in the middle while we were recording.
Oh, okay.
It's fine, big guy.
Yeah.
Anyways, where where Izuku was holding his own much better than how he would have in canon. He will still get saved by All Might, but he might be feel like he's knocked down by a bunch of windy bricks after that punch. Or as All Might calls it, his Texas smash.
That's all. Yeah, that's what I was just trying to get it because you told me to be quiet.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, he ended up holding his own until enough until where All Might would then come in using the Delaware Smash, and knocking the sludge villain off of Izuku. But this time it doesn't knock Izuku out because Izuku's, physically he's much stronger than he was in canon. But
And mentally, he is much wiser and mentally strong.
mm-hmm. So yeah, of course, he still asks All Might for an autograph, and as All Might's leaving, he still does jump. Like he doesn't jump on All Might, but he then begins to like shoot like fire out of his feet, like like a rocket, basically. Like how Fire Lord Ozai was doing it during Sozin's Comet to try to talk to All Might, which eventually All Might would still drop the sludge balloon, and they would then begin to talk on the building. Eventually, All Might, reverting back into his smaller form, and he would then begin to explain to Zuko about his injury and blah blah blah. And yeah.
Uh, Ezekiel say the fact that you're still running around finding fitness, like, okay, not like in your prime. What is more amazing than your reputation perceives you on my, but don't you think you should, I don't know, go to a doctor to get that healed up? Because eventually, one of those feelings might accidentally hit that, and you'd be nothing but a bloody, bony mess on the ground.
I All Might respond by saying, I knew that, but all the greatest doctors on earth have tried to heal this scar, but they couldn't, so I'm basically stuck like this, you would say.
As you sit there thinking, hey, I might. Have you heard of a thing called the heat of healing?
And All Might would be like, what do you mean, kid?
I say, well, it's only a theory I come up with back when I was 5, but the heat of healing is basically using someone's fire quirk, not as footage, but hitting a wound hitting a wound, basically colonizing it, but also hitting at the point you might get back healed up in a few months. So
He would think,
basically, what I'm saying is, I can heat up my hand and touch your wound. Touch your wound about 20 minutes so you can get healed up. But the rest, but the healing process you do on your own, so that thing could heal up back to its first about 3 months tops. 2 weeks if you work hard enough.
hmm. All Might would then say, I might take off your offer, kid, but I gotta go. So eventually, All Might and Izuku would then part ways, and as Izuku's walking home once again, he then sees like on the big jumbo screen as he's in the city at the moment that like there's a kid that's getting attacked by the sludge villain. As Izuku naturally, his instinct tells him that you'll try to save, he'll try to save Izuku. I'm try to go save the kid. That's what I meant to say. So he then uses his fire to jet him forward, which he would then use his lightning to boost his speed, as he would then he would then shoot fire out of his foot, and then he would then hit the sludge villain. But this is when a hero would then say, this is when one of the heroes would then say, a fire quirk won't work. This is when he then begins to electrically charge into his fingertips, but then saying, please do not kill Bakugo. He would then shoot lightning into the sludge villain, shocking the sludge villain long enough to where Bakugo could break out of the grip of the sludge villain. And this is when All Might would then come in using the Detroit Smash, still changing the weather. Which this is when All Might and Izuku would then get interviewed. And Izuku and of course All Might would take all the credit.
As Izuku say, as long as that kid's safe, that's all I don't really care about the credit.
Yeah, so anyway, so this is when eventually as Izuku's walking home, All Might would then come up to him again saying, you know what, kid, one day I might retire. So I'm gonna need a successor. He was then explaining my quirk is called One for All. And it's a transfer quirk. You bestow it down to the next person over time, he would begin to explain to him. And
As Suki didn't say, so basically, it's a transferring, it's a transferring quirk where each iteration is a successor given to the student, then says go, and the cycle go on and on, where the successor becomes stronger than the predecessor.
yeah, exactly, kid. You're pretty smart, All I would say.
As Iseku said, just because of a strong quirk, does not mean my mind have to be that weak.
Yeah, he would.
As Iseku says, thinking, how about I make you a deal, alright?
And All Might would say, what do you suppose, kid?
You want to heal up and one day retire, and I want to follow my dreams to the fullest.
Mm-hmm. And where are you going with this? All Might would say.
Here's the deal. I'll be your successor, and I heal your wound. But in return, you don't just train me. I want I want to be trained by your master, and I want my friend to be trained with me as well.
Hmm, kid. He would say, oh, all right, Midori. He would say, young Midori. He would say, who is this kid? He would say,
As as Isuke said, he's just he's a childhood friend. He's a childhood friend.
but he's also,
Katsuki Bakugo.
a hothead. So yeah, that's gonna be a little
As
hard.
as Isuke said, really, really, you work with a guy that's a quick that's caught into a hair flame, and you're not worried about him.
Fair enough.
I
Anyways,
say,
so this is when um Izuku would then go to Baka. Izuku and All Might would then, like early in the morning, like at 5 o'clock, Izuku would then just throw a ball at Bakugo's window. Mind you, it wouldn't break the window at all, but it would wake Bakugo up. As he would then say, "What do you want, nerd?"
as Isuke say, how you like to become a rival?
Hmm. How about no? He would then say.
As Isuke said, oh well, I guess Alma won't have to train the two boys after all.
Wait, what?
As
I'll go
as
ahead.
Isuke said, oh, I didn't tell you. After what happened last night, I made a deal with Alma that he can train both of us. But since he don't want to, I had to break the news to him.
Wait. Hold on. As this is when Bakugo would quickly get his clothes on and jump out the window. He didn't say, all right, where is he at? This is when All Might would just be hiding in the corner because he doesn't want anybody else to see him. As he would say, yeah, what do you want? Yeah, it's me.
As 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 he say as he to say it loud enough so Alma can hear saying, he'll be waiting for us at 12 o'clock this afternoon at Omaha Beach. Don't be late.
Anyway, so this is when they would just be. This is when until then, Izuku and Bakugo would just be doing like just be doing some exercising and get a jog in and just stuff like that. And then at 12, this is when they would both of them would then they would race each other to the beach just to increase their speed, which Izuku would obviously win since he has the better quirk for that. As this is when All Might would then say, all right, it's time to get to training.
As Isuku says look around saying, Alright, I'm guessing this training is all about building better muscle, isn't it?
Yeah, but I can clearly see that you have the build for to be able to hold this quirk. So we're gonna be cleaning up this beach, and when we're done, then we can actually get some training in. He would say,
As Isuku saying, as he saw Gran Torino next to him saying, he must be Gran Torino.
"How'd you
The
know?" He said, "How'd you know?"
as Isuke said, pulling out his card saying, Oh, your card was taken out of your pocket.
Oh,
As you
anyway,
say, and plus, and as say, and I just have a very good guessing. And I was guessing you're the one who whipped the muscle bound here to the man he is.
yeah, and also somebody else, but sadly she isn't here anymore.
I say, ah, ah, here's a sister.
Anyway, so this is when I'd say I'd give it like it would only take all my Izuku, Bakugo, and Gran Torino like 3 months to clean up the beach, considering that Izuku can and Bakugo can mostly just burn like everything that's like can be reusable. If they basically just burn it down to basically burn like most of it down to the ground and just throw away the stuff and recycle all the stuff that can still be used.
As Isukusa say, God damn, God damn it, how is this? How's the beach more messier than your room, Bakugo?
Like, shut up, nerd, he would say.
I say,
Anyway, so after 3 months of a little bit of lifting training, you can say, and just overall cleaning up the beach, this is when the training would actually begin. Gran Torino would then begin to work with Bakugo, so Bakugo can overall increase his speed, and All Might would then work with Izuku, so he can get a better understanding of One for All, and just overall understanding of being a hero.
as he's saying, so offer is not just a transference quirk, but it can also double the user's physical strength and the strength of the quirk, right?
Yes, you can say that. Why?
As I say, oh, it's because since I was 5, since I was 18, since the day of my 14th birthday, no wait, 12, yeah, it was 12. Since on my 12th birthday, I've been training in Taekwondo, so I can make my body not just fit enough, but flexible enough so I can control both fire and lightning at the same time without damaging myself. At the part, I'd be looking like you when you reuse your quirk.
Yeah, this is when he would then say, "Alright, kid, well, it's time for you to get One for All." This is when he would then pluck a piece of hair. Now, y'all, let me tell you something. That's just disgusting, and I still can't get over that. Even though
As Asuka said, yeah. So
I'm,
wait, the only way I can get your quirk is by absorbing your DNA and you choose your hair.
I mean, do you want my spit?
As Isuka said, do you want to go to prison? As it's part of his phone.
Yeah, I guess the hair will be. So this is when Izuku would sadly swallow that. I can't, Crimson. I can't say that you can do that.
Don't worry, don't worry. Lucky for you, I thought of a better way than eating hair.
What was it?
As Isuka said, yeah. On my your arm.
Yeah, this is when All Might would then hold out his arm.
Then he just got stabbed in the arm with a needle.
You're like, ow! All Might with you.
As he says, take out some of his blood. Then Izuku just injected himself with it, saying, there you go, not both. There you go, now I have your quirk.
Yeah. That was simple enough. And this is when I
As
want. Hold on, I wonder if All Might had to eat Nana Shimura's hair.
actually he did.
Ew. Ugh. That's still nasty, but anyway, so
As
this.
Izuku said, I will make one thing clear to you. I am, what I do want to be a hero at the point is my dream, but the day I eat hair is the day I will ask you to snap my neck.
Anyway, so this is when. Anyway, so this is when Izuku says, "Let's see how this quirk works." As this is when he would then charge up One for All into his arm, as this is when he would then punch it, as he would then make like a giant like wind blast come out of his hand. But it wouldn't break his hand since his body can actually handle it, but it would strain his hand a little bit from that thing since he just shot up 100% of one for all.
As Isuka said, wow, the bare frustrating of it.
Hmm.
Since, since, well, since my body is not fully used to 100%, if I can lower it to 20%, 20% in my arm, and another 20% in my other arm, where I activate both my quirks, let's see what we can do.
So this is when he would then begin to say, "Wait a minute, that's stupid. Why don't I just charge it completely into my body? Charge the electrical current and my quirk, and then charge up one for all altogether, and then curate an overall more balanced version of this, being him going to be able to use full calling much earlier." Coming up with it just out of just thinking about it, could think about it could make it easier for him. So this is when he would then say, "One for all, full calling." And this is when he would then have a green electrical current around his body. And this is when he'd say, "Alright, All Might, let's go." And this is when All Might and Izuku would then begin to train, which Izuku would then begin to clash with All Might. And they would then trade blows at pretty fast speed. But clearly, you can clearly see that Izuku's losing very badly. But he's still holding his own against All Might, which I'm pretty sure nobody else could probably do that. So eventually, after about let's say, eventually after like 9 months of training, Izuku is now ready. Izuku and Bakugo are both ready to, go to UA and are ready to face it. Which I could say, since I don't want to make him too broken, let's just give Izuku about the ability to use like 35% of one for all.
Yeah, that seems like a proper amount given his skill set in this series. Right at the start of what we're doing here.
Yeah, so this is when he would then him and Bakugo would just be walking into UA, and
as Isuki said, "Hey, Bakugo, let's make a bet.
What is it Bakugo would say?
If I can beat you with the most with how many robots I get, you have to do my chores for 3 months."
No way, nerd. And if I win, he would say, and if I win, you'll have to clean then my entire house for 5 months.
As Isuki said, it's a good deal. Even though that's a weird one since you know how much I love to paint.
Anyway, so this is when eventually, as President Mike is explaining how the point system works for destroying robots, Ida's dumb self would then stand up and begin to ask, "What about the giant one in the corner?"
As Isuki said, "Hey kid,
How about you sit your nerd ass down before I come over there and slap you."
As Isuka said, Bakugo, no. As for you, kid, I know who your family are. Don't you think they'd be disappointed that you're interrupting a family hero over a stupid question?"
And this is when Ida would then shut his dumb self up and sit down. As this is when President Mike would then explain that the zero pointers literally mean nothing. If you destroy one, then that's your own. That's just on you, he would say. Now,
As Isuka said, well, that's enough. Well, that's the information I needed.
eventually, so as everything is started, the first one to go is Izuku. As he then activate 35% of full calendar. As this is when he kicks straight through a 3-pointer, saying, "I thought they were gonna be a bit stronger, but I guess this will have to work." As this man basically just became Sonic, as he's just bouncing everywhere, destroying robots.
But I always want to do this. As Isuka say, gotta go fast.
As this is when Bakugo's on. If let's say Izuku's like at 25 and Bakugo's at 10, Izuku's like, "You're too slow."
As Isuka say, I don't care. I don't care if we play too much Sonic games. This is worth it.
Yeah, is this one? He just continues to get like a bunch of more points as he begins to steal other people's robots and destroying them. As by the time it's over, Izuku will have over 100 robot points.
As Suzuki say, okay, I think those robots seems to be enough.
As this is when as he's running out, he sees a girl like is basically under a rock. And this is when he says, this is when he sees a 0 pointer within comes saying, should I help her or should I go with everybody else? All screwed, he would then say. And this is when he would then say, this is what he would then rush. As this is when he would then begin to run up the 0 pointer. As he would then like jump into the center of the 0 pointer and taking out its energy system. As he would then like fall to the ground. As he would then use, this is when he would then kick through the rock with his bare foot.
As Isuka looked down on the girl saying, are you okay?
This is when she would say, thank you.
Then he says, pick her up and put her on his shoulder, saying, come on, I think the nurse has something for your sore leg.
Yeah, so this is when the nurse, dang, what's the nurse name again? I forgot what her name was.
Recovery girl.
Oh yeah, recovery girl. So this recovery girl would just give everybody gummy bears, like she would usually would, and she would then just heal or rock his leg, or a Choco, whatever you want to call her, by her first or last name. It doesn't really matter.
As Isuka said, thanks for the hair recovery girl.
Yeah, no problem, kid. Anyway, so this is when as Izuku's waiting to get it back, he's just in his room, just playing with fire, just tossing it back and forth in his hands, saying. And this is when Inko would then run into his room saying, Izuku, your letter's here.
As Isuka said, oh, thank you, mother. Then he says, open it up to see a little disc.
As he as he puts it in his as he then puts it into his laptop. As this is when like a holographic version of All Might would then appear saying, hello there, young Midoriya. If you're seeing this, you've got the highest score and you got the highest score in UA, and you got the second highest score in UA history, only losing to mine. He was letting laugh, saying ha ha ha.
As Isuka said, good guy. Good guy. Guess when your heroes have egos.
Yeah, anyway, young Midoriya, he would then say, you also got 50 hero points for saving that girl, he would then say.
As Isuka said, huh. I guess we get hero points with the amount of people we also saved during that test.
Interesting, he would then say. This is when he then says, when you get there, he says, there's no problem. He said, all my business said, there's no problem. You're gonna go to UA without a problem. And I will be seeing you at the Academia, young Midoriya. I hope you have a good rest. I hope you have a good week.
As Isuka said, huh, looks like I won two things. I got the second. I almost beat on my scar, and I'm pretty sure that Bunko lost. I guess I would see. I guess we have to see in the week.
Anyway, so this is when Azuka would basically this is basically this is when Azuka would then just go to school. He would then go to UA basically, as as he's walking in, he then stops to think, that's a really giant door. I guess he would then say,
Upside.
yeah, this is when he would then say, oh. This is what he would then say. Is there like a giant in our class or something?
Then he went in and says his classmate, as Isuka say, Huh, never mind. Then he saw the intellect boy saying, you must be the Indian brother.
Hmm. Yes, my name is Chenya Ida, he was insane.
I say, yes, Tanya Ida of the Indian family
Family.
with of the Indian family who
Yeah.
have a long line of older heroes of instant quirks.
Yeah.
With Iseku at his thighs would say, with by the way, Ida, I have to be honest with you.
You're trash, bro.
Now, as Iseku
Nah,
said,
I was doing
the
the
way you
bully
have to
Maguire.
make your legs stronger, it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah. As you was insane, I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
As Iseku said, as Iseku said, you won't be the first one. My eyes got covered in so much dirt, it's used to it.
Hmm. Anyway, so this is when Aizawa and then come in telling everybody to sit down and as they're gonna be doing a test. This is when everybody would then talk about the what about the assembly as he
As
did.
Iseku was working out saying, those things such as such those things such as basically congratulating us getting a good amount of points to getting in this class. We can skip one of those. I skipped mine in middle school.
Anyway, so this is when Aizawa and tell everybody then get their training suits on and go outside because we're gonna y'all are gonna have a test. Y'all are gonna have a test basically. Several tests about y'all are gonna have several tests to see how you guys quirks work.
As Isuke say, okay. Then he starts going to the locker room, getting his suit.
And then eventually, as they then go outside, this and Mazawi then throws the ball at Izuku, saying that you got the highest score, so why don't you get to go first? As this is before he did it, he then stuck his tongue out at Bakugo, saying,
As
"Told
he
you."
said, as he, as he said, then he starts went to the center saying, so So this test, basically shows us our physical skill, while also showing us our skill of the quirk.
Yes, exactly. So this is when
As
oh sorry.
Isuka said, seems simple enough.
Yeah, so this is when
And
oh, were you still trying to say something?
I know, I was just scratching something.
Oh, okay. So this is when Deku is in Sayar. This is when he would then put an electrical charge into the ball, and he then yeets that boy so far that it went out of the school, all the way into one of the rival schools.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when everybody's like, he do that. They don't even know where the ball went.
As Isuka said, huh, that's very electric.
So after all the tests are done, Izuku he got number one in everything except the ball test because Uraraka got infinity on there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so this is when we time skip to 3 days later, and All Might rushes into the room as he then says, "I am here." And this is when he would then say, "You don't make heroes don't make you don't make a hero. You're not a hero if you don't have the suit." And this is when he would then push a small button out of his remote, as on the side all their hero costumes would then appear. Now, y'all, his hero costume looks something like what Aang's look like Avatar Aang. How like it has basically looks like a Fire Nation outfit, basically.
Oh, actually, I do have a Fire Nation out outfit ready for this. Ironically enough.
Yeah, so because I wanted to base this kind of off of like when I thought of this what if yo I kind of thought of Zuko. I thought of Zuko because Zuko and I were fire and lightning.
Hold on, let me go get the suit.
But yeah, he basically has some like a Fire Nation outfit basically. So anyway, so Todoroki would then just begin to he just stares at Izuku for some reason, saying, but she doesn't know. He doesn't exactly know why he's getting stared at.
As Izuku say, um, hi.
And this is when Todoroki would then just look away. As this is when this is will be the teams this time. Now this will be different. So the heroes are still Uraraka and Izuku, but the villains are Bakugo and Todoroki because they just want to make this. Aizawa and All Might wanted to make this thing interesting.
As Izuku say, so they putting two people with fire quirks against someone else. As Izuku said, okay, Bakugo, let's try to think of a plan.
No, as remember it's him and Uraraka on the team are the heroes.
As Uraraka say, as Izuku say, I have a question. What does your quirk do?
She says, if I touch anybody, they'll be able to float, and if I touch myself, I'll also be able to float. But if it's depending on its size, I might like vomit from it. She would then explain to him, it's called zero gravity.
As Izuku say, how long do you think you can hold that for?
If I hold myself, I can probably hold it for maybe 5 minutes at most.
As Izuku said, alright. Since I know Ela, since I know they might gotta take away these objects in the room so you don't use your quirk, here's what we gotta do. They just explain the plan very carefully.
He says that I want you to hide. I want you to hide inside of that room. But I know that both Todoroki and Bakugo will come after me, and they won't really focus on you too much, he would say. So as soon as they come, I want you to run in the opposite direction and hide inside the room with the bomb.
As Izuku then enters saying, do you have any questions?
No. And this is when Bakugo would.
As
Oh, sorry.
Izuku said, great, let's go, let's do it.
So this is when Bakugo would then coming flying down the hall at super fast speeds. As this is when Todoroki would then freeze the half of the wall so like Izuku can't escape. So this is when Izuku knows that he's gonna have to take this seriously. As he then activate a fire ring around him. As he would then and then he would then have his full calling energy around him, electricity around him. He would then have a fire ring around him. As he would then say, "Alright." This is when he would then rush into battle. As he would then use jet propulsion, shooting fire into his feet so he can fly. As this is he would then rush at Todoroki first. As this is when the Todoroki would then like make a giant like frozen wall. As this is when Izuku would burst right through it, saying, you think it's gonna be that easy?" As Bakugo, and now being behind Izuku would then say, "You might want to watch this one out," Todoroki would then say, "because now we got you trapped, Izuku." And this is when Bakugo would then release his gauntlet. And this is when a massive explosion would then come out, saying, Izuku's like, "Oh my god." Yeah, that's all he can say.
As Izuku says, look at both of them as he say, electrical hell.
As
Then
this
he
is
says, blast both fire and lightning at his opposite sides.
as you kind of like do like, and he would have a stream of lightning coming out on both sides as well. As he would then make a fire barrier around him to protect him from the explosion. As when the smoke clears, Bakugo sees that Izuku's fine, which pisses Bakugo off actually.
As Izuku said, I'll admit, the fact that you built up enough sweat to make that explosion, very, very creative. Yet very stupid because you might have broken your arm in the process.
And this is my conclusion. Actually, it's not really that much of a problem. It's just depending on if I do it repeatedly, he would say.
I say, I say, ah, I actually have advice with that one. But not right now. This is a fight. We'll talk later.
Yeah, so this is when Todoroki would then have Izuku's legs frozen, basically. Izuku.
As Izuku say, oh no, my legs are frozen. However, how about this? Then he says burn his feet.
Yeah, this is when
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so this is basically you know what Katara had did to Zuko, as far as when she had frozen him and as far as the North Pole episode. So basically, yeah, that's what Todoroki.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he tries to freeze Izuku completely to where he can't move. So this is when he remembers what our Uncle Iroh has said in that episode about the whole breath thing. This is when he then begins to breathe, saying out of his nose. Obviously not. I don't know why I did it out of my mouth, but no, he did it out of his nose. As this is when he
did out of his nose.
Yeah, I did it. I don't know why I did it out of my mouth though. But yeah, so this is when Izuku would then this is when he would then unleash his full power. The lightning would then he would then have an extremely powerful electrical charge out of his body. But unlike with Denki's lightning, Izuku doesn't become stupid after that. This is when he would then destroy every piece of ice around him. As this is when he would then begin to go super fast around Todoroki. This is when he began to wrap him up in the villain tape. And with Bakugo, he then basically make fire whips, right? He makes fire whips. This is when he would then he then keep Bakugo's arms. He wrapped Bakugo's arms up, which theoretically Bakugo should be able to use his explosions anywhere, even except his mouth though. He should be able to use it anywhere he can move, anything he can move when you think about it, as long as it can sweat when you think about it. Except his mouth though, because your mouth can't sweat. But if you're thinking like that, then yeah. But for the scenario, no, not at the moment. He won't be able to do that until much later. But so yeah, he basically holds Bakugo's arms in place with a fire whip. So this is when he then begins to wrap the villain tape around Bakugo as well, keeping him in place. Which this is when he tells Uraraka, "Go ahead and touch the bomb." And as this is when the heroes were successful, and yeah, as this is where we're gonna be ending out this part because yeah, this was a pretty long part one.
And it was a good reunion. What have to do after we finally coming back as friends?
Yeah,
is that maybe, guy?
yeah. We might do another one right after this. Actually, we might release the second part after this. But considering this part's getting a little long, and I don't want people just not want to watch it because how long it is.
So yeah, we might do that later. So, and if you were to know what else I make, the link in the description to my channel will be down below.
Yeah, I'll link his channel down below. I'll link one of his newest videos in the description of this video. All right, peace out, guys. It's your boy Yahigo. Oh, it's your boy the Dark Kage, and my main
and Crimson the Fiery Lion,
man's best friend, and we'll be seeing y'all next time on What If Deku Had a Fire and Lightning Quirk.